Hey there, my little space monkeys. Oh, I want to do the greetings. We'll do the greetings one more time.
Okay.
Greetings, my little space monkeys. I'm Dean.
Hey, I'm Barton.
And this is the Intergalactic Kegger. And tonight we're going to be talking about our first experiences into what got us into the paranormal. I guess the first thing that ever really got me interested in the paranormal would have to be my dad telling me a story religiously. As a child, I always wanted to hear it about him and his cousin who had went fishing.
Mm-hmm.
It was down by a popular river around here. It was near this old mansion bridge, huge old creepy bridge everybody knows about around here.
Oh yeah.
There's a railroad track near that bridge and that river,
Mm-hmm.
and they had been down fishing that evening, and they were walking the railroad tracks back to their vehicle, and Dad looks up. He hears this humming sound coming from the sky. They look up, and there's a ship, and that's the best way Dad could describe it. Was a disc, just like everybody sees in the movies. There were lights going around it, and I'll never forget. Dad always refers to them as theater lights. He said they were going around just like a marquee on a theater, in different colors, and it was making a wom, like an ohm sound,
Right.
like an old radio. And Dad said it stayed there in one spot, and they laid down on the railroad tracks and watched it for probably 15, 20 minutes. And my dad's cousin, he actually had the idea everybody carried pistols back in with them, especially around here in the country.
Oh yeah.
He was going to shoot at it.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
So Dad talked about shooting at the spaceship that could have zapped him.
Right.
But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, he said they sit there for probably 30 minutes, and this thing never moved. He just sit there right above him and blinked and hummed.
Mm-hmm.
And he said all of a sudden the lights started going a little bit faster, the humming got a little bit louder, and boom, it was gone in the blink of an eye.
Wow.
Just as fast as it came, it was gone. And the thing that's always got me is my dad's never been a person to tell any tales, and the story has stayed the same my whole life. Every detail he still tells the same, and he's 75 years old now. And every time I hear it, it sounds just like it did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So
That's a good story. I've never heard that before.
yeah,
Thanks, by the way.
no problem.
So I guess my first experience is I had a aunt who lived with me and my parents growing up, and she had a home not too far from where we grew up at, and we would go over to her house. I mean, it was empty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like a fully functional house. It just nobody lived there.
Right.
And anyway, so from an early age, I remember like going in there and just always like being scared. Like
Any old empty house is always
Yeah.
scary.
it was fully furnished place, nice furniture in it. It was slam full of antiques.
Oh, nice.
It had a few old things, passed down from a few generations of the family and different things. We got married. Me and my wife got married at a young age, and my aunt was like, "Oh, hey, if you want to stay here for a few months till you get on your feet, y'all go ahead. It's fully furnished. You go ahead. You take care of it like it's your own.
Yeah, that's great.
And we moved in, and man, I'll tell you, like within the first 4 or 5 days, it had this bathroom door that was really creaky, like made this like. I mean, every time you would go in and out, and it had a habit of shutting itself. Yeah, just an old creaky house.
Right.
So me and my wife were laying here in this bed. It's middle of the night, sleeping good, and I wake up to the bathroom door, like opening and closing itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, my first thought was, oh, this is my wife.
Right.
God, what is she doing over here? And I roll over in the bed, and I find my wife with the blanket up like at her mouth, and she's just like chattering.
Terrified.
Yeah, she's terrified because it's neither of us playing with this bathroom door.
Wow.
And oh man, and I just remember like oh God, what's happening? So and we laid there for I was afraid to get up. So was my wife. Nobody got up. We just laid there until finally fell back asleep, and we got up the next morning and neither of us wanted to talk about it.
So you ask your aunt. When you tell, she's like, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of things in the house. I wanted you to have. There was a antique punch bowl, some old dishes, some silverware, antique silverware, a ghost, a punch bowl. Oh, what was that last one? Oh, never mind. Just enjoy the punch bowl.
Pretty much, right. Yeah, it was terrifying. Growing up where I grew up, mom and dad's house. I mean, occasionally, door would open itself up, or something weird would happen. But it was normally explainable. It was never anything like really out there. No idea what happened. We moved in that other home, and Jesus Christ, it was just it was something like on a daily basis almost.
Right.
It was really creepy. I don't know why, and I've heard other people have same story. Something about the kitchen,
in this house.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right.
But I've also heard other experiences. People growing up in homes like this, and it would happen to us. We would go to bed, kitchen, all the cabinet drawers, everything would be closed. The cabinet doors would be closed. Get up the next morning, and half the doors are open. The silverware drawers are pulled out. I've had 3 or 4 people tell me that, and I'm like, that shit happened to us.
I tell you,
every night.
There are things that ghosts do that freaks me out more than anything.
Yeah.
The pulling it, even if they pull them out while I'm watching them, I don't think that's as creepy as waking up and they're all pulled out.
And it was a daily thing. It was go to bed, everything was good. Get up the next morning, and we finally got accustomed to this crap happening.
Oh man!
So I just get up every morning.
Hello.
Get the pot of coffee going. Close all the drawers.
Oh
close
man.
all the cabinet doors. And looking back, I am so glad we moved when we did. I've never had that kind of stuff happen anywhere else. I've had a few events, different things, but never on that level have I ever been in a place have stuff like that happen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
and it's weird too because, me and Barn grew up. My parents' house is on one side of the road. His house is on the other side of the road. So, we grew up pretty close to this place, and it was always a creepy house. We always go in it. We'd always go and listen to some old records and whatnot, but it always had that creepy vibe to it. But
it did.
We never stayed there long enough,
Yeah.
For anything to happen.
Yeah. We had a cookout one day, and it was at her house. Still nobody living there. Me and a few of my teenage cousins are hanging out, and we're in here. We've got some music blasting. We're hanging out in the living room right next to the kitchen. And in the kitchen there was the counter that had this big crystal antique punch bowl.
There you go.
Yeah. I've told this story to you before, of course. And nobody was near it. It ain't like we were throwing things around the house or whatever. Out of nowhere, the music cuts off. And this punch bowl just lands in the center of the kitchen floor. Nobody was there. Bam. Right here, and we look over and it's just doing this wobbling thing on the floor upside down, and everybody's like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably something high end, come from a nice antique shop.
Yeah,
definitely not something to be thrown around the house. All right,
but that's an object that you would expect if it hit the ground it's shattered.
Oh, absolutely.
Not sit there and wobble like something that was made out of plastic or something like that.
We'd go and I went and got it up, set it on the counter, and
no cracks or anything.
No, it was fine. It was flawless.
Wow.
My aunt come in, one of my cousin's parents come in, and they were like, oh my god, mom, look what happened over here, and they didn't believe us at all. I mean, they just shut it down, are like, y'all don't know what y'all were talking about. Something like that would never happen. It would clearly bust that bowl.
Right.
It must have been in a different spot. Y'all bumped it off. Y'all knocked it over. Whatever. And I'm like, nobody was over there. We're not little tiny children here anymore. We didn't imagine this happening.
Right.
It definitely happened. It was 4 or 5 of us there that saw it. It was a little heartbreaking to have a 45-year-old woman come in and be like, that didn't happen.
Yeah, like almost like maybe they'd had it happen to them before.
Maybe. God, I hope so. Hope so now.
Yeah. I tell you, man, there's some weird things that go on around here, especially in this area.
Yeah.
But yeah, we that was just a few things that we wanted to start to. This is our first show, as you guys know. So it's going to be getting better and better. We promise. We're
right.
still working the kinks out. We're still getting used to the camera. But if you guys have any experiences of your own, send us some messages on Facebook. You can put them. You can put them on the post. You can private messages, or you can send it through our email, which is intergalactickegger84@gmail.com. Everything's lowercase. And if you'd like, if your story's, if you got a really good story, we'd like to have you on for an interview. So, yeah, definitely hit us up. And, well, I guess we're going to go ahead and cut this video off. The next video, we're going to be talking about, it's a couple of legends. Well, I say legends. They're true. A couple of events that happened down around Richmond with some escaped monkeys from a circus train, some fairies, and also some ghosts down around that area. So we're going to be working on that video. We'll probably have it out about next week. So you guys tune in, look for that video. And as always, I'm Dean.
And I'm Barn.
And this is the Intergalactic Kegger. Later.